Hello, hello, hello. It's good to be back. Sorry I missed a couple of our sessions due to a bout with COVID. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good, but it wasn't bad either. In the sense that I was down. It would felt like a just like a bad cold. So I'm thankful and grateful that we are doing well. Both my wife and I got it at the same time. But I'm so glad that we're doing well and get a chance to come back and share with you. Um, I had a thought. I was thinking about my father who passed away in 2003. And I thought how he had actually worked for 30 some years on the same job. And basically, he worked real hard to take care of us. And he did a good job. However, he basically, it didn't seem like he had much time. Every bit of time that he had was driving back and forth to the job. And when he could take time, every once in a while, we got an opportunity to get together and to do some things like go to Disneyland or stuff like that. But for the most part, all he could do was, whenever he had vacation, is stay at home. He didn't have enough money to really take us or go together to any type of vacation trips. However, like I said, he was a good man, and I learned a lot from him. And what he left me was a legacy of integrity, a legacy of uh, one who loved people and who cared for um, people that he came across. All that is a wonderful thing, and I'm so grateful to him for sharing with me and teaching even the things that he did not open his mouth and say to me. I got a chance to watch his life, and as a result, some of that rubbed off on me. And when it comes to going from one generation to another, it's important that we leave something greater than we were able to perhaps accomplish on our own. And I see that with my father. And as a result of his worth ethic, I desired to do the same thing. However, I also saw how hard he worked. And I was like, I don't want to be the 30-year person that gets a pin with three diamonds that are probably not worth $20 at the end of the day, and to get a small pension. I really wanted to be different. I wanted to see things differently. So I thought in my mind of being my own person, being my own businessman. And um, I've had that opportunity, and we have done that. We own our own business and have done a couple of things like that. Nowhere to where I really wanted to go. But guess what? I am still in process. I'm still moving toward that direction. And I've come to find out that a lot of it has to do with our mindset. A lot of it has to do with how we think. And that wasn't a thought. Entrepreneurship wasn't a thought for my dad. It's you work, 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 and you retire. My thought is I don't want to work, work, work and retire. I want to work and make the work that I do meaningful in helping the people that are around me, my family first, and then others that get a chance to see my life. I want to be able to build on top of what my father did and others that came along before me. And then I thought about my sons, and one in particular I want to talk a little bit about today. When my youngest son was born, actually when he, I guess it was kindergarten or before kindergarten. Okay, he may have been almost 5 years old, and we had this event at the church during Halloween time, and he went around to the different tables with a bag, and he played games, and he got candy. So at the end of the night, he shows up with two giant grocery bags of candy. And I asked him the question. I said, son, I said, what are you going to do with that candy? And he said, to my surprise, sell it. I was like, what? You're going to sell it? Because I was ready to tell him, "You're sure not going to eat that." Okay. But he said, "I'm going to sell it." And I said, "Well, how much you going to sell it for?" He said, $50. I mean, already there was something in him that was different. Okay. And that difference was he thought something more. He thought, let's multiply this. I think I can make some money. And the thing about that is when you have thoughts like that, we have to recognize that the thoughts that we get, or the ability to think, comes from God. The ability to create comes from God. And all of us have this ability to create because we have this mind, and the mind is like God, in the sense that we are formed and shaped in his image and his likeness. And when God thought something, he would speak it and it would come to pass. And he would say, "That's good." That's how creation came. Well, he put that in all of us. And I see that in myself. I see it more in my sons because they think a thing and then they begin to pursue it. I would say to all of us have that ability, but some of us have been stunted from utilizing it. Some of us have been robbed from the possibilities in life because of what other people say and what other people think and how they want to judge you. I would say to all of us, you know what? When you get a thought, grab hold to it, particularly when you capture good thoughts, things that are good, hold on to them. Don't let anyone deter you from a good thought, because a good thought turns into something very positive and powerful, not just for you, but other people around you. I would say you take the thought, you bring it into captivity, and you say, I'm going to develop this. I'm not just going to go with the raw of the thought. I'm going to develop it. How do I develop it? I have to keep thinking on it. I have to expand my knowledge. I have to expand my understanding of it. So I'm going to think on it. I'm going to meditate about that thought. What does it really mean? And how does it work for me? And what do I have in me that can make this thing come alive? And then as you begin to do that, you start shaping it and forming it and sharpening it. And before you know it, that thought becomes something that can become reality as long as you keep it in a place where it can grow. Sometimes that means not telling somebody else about what you think. Okay. Sometimes it means not telling anybody about what your plans are, because people like to rob people, particularly if they don't have a thought of their own. They're going to try to get your thought. And it's one thing to share your thought with people, but make sure that you hold on to it till it matures, because sometimes we let the cat out of the bag before it's time. So I would say to you, let your thoughts mature as you're meditating on them and you're refining them and getting them better, because you never know, that thought can begin to multiply and produce some very powerful and positive things in your life. And when that happens, when it comes to maturity, then recognize that you didn't get the thought just for you, but you got the thought for you so that it can multiply in you and it can be given to others around you, and they can produce as a result of what you have produced. So hold on to the thought, let it mature, let it grow. Don't let anybody rob it from you. Get to the place and the point where you can execute that thought. And when you get done executing the thought, you'll be able to say, just like God, that's that's my time. I encourage you. Keep the thought, get a good thought, write it down, hold on to it, execute it. Don't let it go before it's time. And when it comes through, give it away. Talk again. Have a wonderful day.